Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to my channel, Sharon Lapu-Lapu. And today, my guests are Grover and Scotty of the popular THPP Network. Their entertaining and informative channel provides social commentary and relationship dynamics. Their channel has over 1.2 million views to date, and their subscribers are increasing exponentially. THPP Network, welcome to my small channel, sir. And by the way, I am attending Meet and Greet, which I create, me and the other Filipino blogger. So let's get started. Sir, please both introduce yourself and tell viewers about your channel, its content, and why you create.
Cool. You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I'm Grover from the THPP Network. Our channel is really about social commentary, relationship dynamics, and I'm in a unique position that I've traveled probably for the last 35 years. I was actually spent the majority of my time abroad in the Philippines, and Central Visayas, and Negros, and the city of Bacolod. Spent a lot of time in Luzon and Pampanga, Puerto Galera, and so I've been very fortunate to spend a lot of time in the land of millions of islands. I don't even know how many islands there are in the Philippines, but I've also traveled to probably, Mongolia, all through Southeast Asia, Europe, Africa, Latin America. But typically, I like to take my experiences and apply them to modern thing and modern relationship dynamics that are going on today. And that's pretty much our channel in a nutshell. Our channel started off as a political channel where we talk about politics, artificial intelligence, and whatever else we could think of. And it's developed now through a kind of we've focused our efforts to relationship dynamics, and really my focus is good family structure. And
Okay,
whatever
yes.
that finds, I think that the family is probably the secret ingredient to moving forward, especially in my community. Uh, and I think a lot of the ills that happen in the United States that's very redundant. A lot of ills, especially in the United States and abroad, can really be solved with just a good nuclear family and the man and the woman working together to raise a child properly. I think that
Yeah.
most people ideal would say marriage, and even and I think that marriage is almost a perfect creation if you can keep the state and the government from your business and really just focus on the two people together raising a child. I think it's almost a perfect creation to make good people, and the more good people the better, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm also super sarcastic in videos. Right.
And he also likes to talk a lot, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is basically our channel in a nutshell. We like creating content. I love creating content. I love being a YouTuber. We did do political stuff at first, but I was like, Grover, I think we need to get out of this realm because it's not working. So we are happily in the kind of the relationship dynamic space, doing social commentary. And for me personally, I see that there is a lot of issues in society right now where the nuclear family is breaking down. And so a lot of
Yeah.
men here in the United States is talking about traveling overseas and dating. So that is one of the solutions I see is if they're unable to find a mate here, they can expand their horizons and go and travel abroad, live abroad, and date abroad. And considering that I'm also a child of an immigrant mother, I'm second generation United States. I'm also like, I know you're talking to how your daughter is half European, half Filipino. Well, I'm also a
Yeah.
European mutt and I'm Vietnamese. So I have ties extensively to my Vietnamese family as well as my European family. So, and my stepmom's also Japanese. So I have.
What about your black family? Damn it!
Well, you're right here. You count.
It hurts my feelings, Scott, when you leave us out.
So
we've known each other for a long time.
yeah, and so like, yeah, we're just encouraging men to find a solution is by traveling overseas and find love there if they can't find love here. So that's how we are.
It's
Yeah.
I think Scott says something really really well, and that's like there's no need to be frustrated in this world. Like there's this like doomer syndrome where people are like, oh man, I'll never find somebody, I'll never do this and that, and it's like no, because people are people and people are dynamic, and maybe your person just isn't here. Maybe your person is in the Philippines. Your person could be uh, in the Philippines or in Mongolia or in Japan or in Angola or in South Africa or Europe. They could be so you want to like out of
Yes.
the city. You know what I mean?
Yes. So you can find love everywhere in the world.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you looked at my channel and its content and other Philippines or overseas content and other YouTuber to broaden your perspective and get ideas to your channel or get entertained? Please explain.
You or me?
You go ahead.
So I've I watched a lot of content, a lot of expats
Mhm.
that I actually bumped into
Yeah.
who live in the United States. There's and of course I forget all of their names because I'm this lame right now. But I mean, of course we watched Filipino P.
Zoom to Thailand.
Zoom to Thailand
Richie
is
Mac.
Richie Mac. He's actually a friend of ours, but he's in Thailand, but spent some time in the Philippines.
Filipino P.
Austin Holloman spent some time in the Philippines.
Black Filipino.
Yeah, the Black Filipino. That's actually the
Mhm.
Ah, yeah, Jay.
yeah, he's a great guy, and he's really good content. I was watching some of your content, and I find it like you have some really bold questions. You have some bold topics, and but I also think those are topics that people want to know if they're really getting serious. And I think I have to give you some compliment that you do it very very eloquently. It's not like vulgar. It doesn't come across vulgar or crass when you're doing it. So, but I mean, I watch quite a bit of content from the Philippines when we can. I mean, I consume content. Being a content creator, I probably consume content constantly from all over, and because I'm always trying to figure out how to be better. And I like to see whatever someone does better, I want to be able to do. I want to like. I mean, I believe that I need to look, observe, and keep what I can from their content and make it mine. It's kind of like my martial arts training background, where it's like you want to take what's useful to you and discard the rest. So I look at a lot of folks' content to see what they're doing better, and maybe I can do it also.
Yep. And then for me, I honestly, I'm gonna be honest right here. I haven't checked out your channel yet or any of your videos, but I did skim through it for a couple of seconds. The reason why is because when we invite you onto our channel, I'm gonna do extensive research on your content, and then I'm gonna be asking you questions about that. Plus, as Grover knows, I'm in the editing hole, so I'm constantly editing.
Ah,
So, like I got that's why I know all these other YouTubers, because I do some editing on the side for everyone else.
Scott actually edits for like 3 or 4 other channels besides.
And I do deep research on the specific channel I'm editing or talking about when I get around to it. So trust me, I'm gonna watch all your stuff and really get an idea of,
So and we're gonna put you on a spot right now that you have to come on our channel.
Yeah.
And that we're gonna do, we're putting you on a spot. So and you have to say, you can't say no. You have to say yes.
yeah, I will not say no. I will say yes because I am willing to be. I am willing and I appreciate to be on your channel. And actually, I met Jay, the Filipino TV channel. We met already here in Cebu. He interviewed me. I interviewed him.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then he is a kind person, and also his wife.
I really like to see the relationship dynamic. I really like to see like somebody when they go. Listen, I always say this, and I say that men go travel overseas and their relationships have different phases on their ages that they have. And so like when you're a young man, you may not, like 25 years old, it's really hard for a 25-year-old to really buckle down and some of them do it, but it's hard for a 25-year-old to say, hey, I'm going to find myself a wife. 35, maybe you're closer, 45, definitely looking. So when I see a man with his wife and it's just seems like a really great relationship, it makes me happy. It makes me happy to see that. I think it's a really good example of how, of how things can be. And I've never seen someone who comes across so happy to be in a film. I mean, he looks like a weight's lifted off his shoulders. And so he really enjoys being in the PI.
And I think maybe because there are some overseas who come over here for to find their soulmate, maybe I will go overseas also to find my soulmate.
Hey, hey,
Hey, it happens. It happens that way.
yeah,
So
yeah. Your child will get big enough. They're gonna be coming at you anyway.
mhm.
Your inbox is probably already on fire. You over here playing.
And I think we have the
Trevor
second biggest population of Filipinos besides Manila, which is where Daly City.
Daly City, yeah.
Daly-
Yeah, so
we-
we're in Northern California. So the funniest thing to me is like, folks always like, I'll be talking to them. They'll be like, "Oh, Americans don't even know there people are Philippines." I'm like, hold on a second. I live in the Bay Area. The Bay Area, like, especially going to high school, everyone I hung out with was Filipino.
Yeah, basically.
Filipino, then Mexican, then a couple of Samoan cats.
Mhm.
But like that's kind of like the culture that you grow up with, especially in a Bay Area. The Bay Area has a high amount of, all the way from the Bay Area to Stockton, it's a concentration of Filipinos.
Mhm.
I mean, Filipino martial arts is really big in the Bay Area. And so I've been a Filipino martial arts student for 25 years because it was just something like what everyone did here.
And so naturally, when we have a Filipino audience, which we have seen through our past videos that we did defending Southeast Asian women, it was really nice to see that a lot of PI people were coming in to lend their support to us. And it just feel like, honestly, naturally at home because we're surrounded by so many Filipinos here. And
Scott took it super
personal.
personal.
Hell yeah, I took it.
Scott was like, so Scott very seldom, like the way our workflow works is that like Scott very seldom says we have to do this content. Like I'll really be mining content because he's like in an editing hole. He's doing this, he's doing that. So I'll do my best to mine content and get the content ready for us to execute, or at least some of the ideas. Then we work it together from that point.
Yeah.
But that was one of the few times that Scott's like, we have to do this.
We're staying on it.
And
we're going to make multiple videos on this.
Over and over again. I was like, all right, man, I got you. He's like, no, you don't understand. It's like, no, I get you. I understand.
Yeah, that's when my full Vietnamese Southeast Asian side started kicking in. It's good because there's not many people in our space that's Southeast Asian. And so I'd feel like I'm being neglectful if I didn't speak up personally. Because the immigrant people were the ones that raised me. My Vietnamese family raised me. My first language was Vietnamese. Even though my Vietnamese right now is really rusty, I felt a certain kind of way when I hear about Southeast Asian people getting disparaged.
Yeah. And
considering that we are in a multi-ethnic environment,
right?
It's just a little personal.
And it's like my uncle, like my favorite auntie, my tia growing up was Panay. And like my uncle's first wife, when she passed away, unfortunately, but she was Panay, and like my cousins are half Filipino, and I'm like looking at it, I'm just like, yeah, I got a whole lot of ammunition, especially the ignorance of it was like, oh, these people don't even speak English, and I'm like, are you fool? English was the language of the Philippines until 2006.
Yes,
and it's like, and if they speak little English, it's maybe they have an accent if you're thinking little English, but it's not like they don't know how to speak English. As a matter of fact, in the school system, the average Filipino person in school, they got to learn mother tongue, which would be like for you it would be Cebuano or Visayan, Hiligaynon if you're Ilonggo, or whatever, like Papanganese if you're from Pampanga, and then you would learn Tagalog and you would learn English. So the average person is going to have 3 languages coming up, and we're sitting here. It was ludicrous to me because I was like, you don't understand. And I got in a big debate with folks, and I was like, you don't understand, like. The lady you see working at the counter has like at a makeup counter in the Mall of Asia has a degree. She's smart as hell, and so like we're sitting here like making value judgments, and we shouldn't make a value judgment, especially if you haven't been there. If you haven't been there, you really shouldn't make a value judgment.
Or being exposed to the people or the culture while even living here in the United States, which I find anyway.
Because I hate it when people make value judgments about Black people. It's like say, oh, well, we're all criminals, or we're all thugs, or we this and that, or we never do anything, or we don't do. And it's like I've never been a part of that at all. I've always been, I've always been an A student. I've always done everything I could to be a person who's a proud representative of my family name, like most people try to do. So why would I assume that everyone else isn't that way? Because I don't think I'm special,
Yes, okay, sir. I would like to say thank you, Beautiful Lies, for the super chat. Okay, your two most popular videos were woman blaming Michael B. Jordan for being boring, which has over 500,000 views, and they are big mad at Passport Bro haters for this over 121 views. Why do you think these two videos were so widely viewed? Was it the content or subject itself?
Okay, so first thing I got to do, so I got to give a shout out to my guy El Guapo for the Beautiful Lies podcast.
Mm,
That is the super G right there. You're talking about the smoothest voice ever and the nicest guy and a personal friend. So I want to give a salute to El Guapo for coming in here for the Beautiful Lies podcast. That's our guy. And so I cannot go any further without thanking him for the generous $20 super
okay.
chat and the support. Thank you, sir. Now, I think the Michael B. Jordan video was super popular
Yeah.
because of the unique insight that we had. You know, I always tell people I'm 6'2", I'm 300 pounds. I lift weights. I do martial arts, but I'm a big nerd wrapped in a football player's body. And I always tell people that all the time. Like I love traveling. I love the intricacies of travel. So not just not like I would actually go to the Philippines and learn about the school system because I want to say, well, how do these people get this? How do they educate people? Like Lapu Lapu himself, I learned a lot of history about Lapu Lapu, like how he had tattoos,
Yeah.
he headed Magellan, how he was a shaman, and how or just the history of Mindanao, never being conquered and never being penetrated by Spain. So when the United States said you're ours, they're like, what do you mean? How can we be yours when we're ours? And so, like learning all of this stuff, learning about the diaspora of folks, and wrapping that up in martial arts, I've always been interested in that. So, seeing Michael B. Jordan, he's a good guy. I mean, squeaky clean, right? Good looking, good
Mm,
guy, but he's still considered corny sometimes. And so, I think that like maybe I was like, well, listen, I'm a good guy. I'm squeaky clean. My wife thinks I'm good looking, so I'm gonna go with that. But I'm but I can relate to like being the person who's trying to do it right, and folks are
okay.
saying, hey, listen, why aren't you doing this cool stuff with us? And it's like, I can't because I'm trying to do it right. So I think personally that video really hit good with us because I had a personal stake in it on my part. I think Scott's part was super impressive because Scott analyzed all of the body language. And so that's the thing that like people don't understand. The secret weapon is that Scott deep dives and really got into the body language and like look at how he leans away, look at how he says, and I was actually more amazed. Like I thought I did a really great job on a voiceover on my part, and I was super like I was cocky and I was gonna like hey, you see what I did? Then I heard his part and I was like, it's like I scored 32 points at a basketball game and Scott came and scored 50. So like, he did a really good job with it. So I think just the combination of us both and like approaching it from different ways was really big with that. With the Michael B. Jordan. Why don't you talk about the other one?
Well, with the Michael B. Jordan too, we were also talking to about how the average guy, he goes out there, he develops himself the best he can be, and still is called corny when he's done everything right. So there's a lot of things that need to be changed culturally between the dating market where I've just seen things they transitioned over the years where let's just say a guy like Michael B. Jordan can still be called corny, and it just doesn't make sense. So I've always tried to tell the guys is you develop yourself the best that you can be, so you gain more leverage in your own personal relationship, so you can sift through all those females that are not really
Yes.
you. So you can find someone that is more compatible to you, and go towards someone that's more appreciative to you to be in a relationship with. And so, and then the other videos that we did were, it got on Thai News. So,
Yeah.
well, not us, but like the whole incident got on Thai News. But definitely,
Okay.
we mixed in a lot of clips where there's a lot of different Filipinas, talking about the incident where this one lady characterized the whole group of Southeast Asian people as uneducated and can't speak any other languages and all this other stuff. So I think that really resonated with a lot of different people outside of the U.S. over in the Philippines, because I think we had about 20% of our views came from the Philippines from those videos.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was 27%. I thought it was.
It might have been more. It probably was more.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, I'm just guessing here is that, and I'm not trying to think for the Filipino people, but I think they appreciate that we were, as people from the United States, supporting and backing them up.
Yeah,
And speaking with our platform against our own United States citizens for talking a bunch of, mess and crap.
well,
Yes.
to me, it's been a natural progression. Always, like the first U.S. soldiers that came to the Philippines were black because they were malaria resistant, they were weather resistant, right? Black men have always been in the Philippines, and they've always had good relationships with Filipino people. Even if they said, "Oh, black people, some of them don't like black guys because their skin is too dark," this and that. I've never in the Philippines. Well, listen, I've been made fun of, but it's been banter. It's been like that's just what we do anyway. We're sarcastic, we clown each other, but I've never had really poor experiences in the Philippines. So I think I was kind of taken aback when I seen the ignorance that was displayed, but also it was kind of low hanging fruit because it was easy because you could, I mean, if you know anything, you could just, it was such a straw man argument, you could destroy it instantly. Even with folks like from Latin America, they could speak English. English is their second language,
and it's coming from a person that most likely only speaks English too, which is the irony of the situation.
That was the crux of it. It was like if you would have said that whole statement in French after, I would have been like, okay, you're flexing a little, but no, you was just being stupid. So it was just easy. But I think that also we had a lot of support from a lot of content creators coming up before that, like Beautiful Eyes, as we said before. He like covered one of our videos. O'Shea Duke Jackson had covered one of our videos. Dennis Sperling had shared it and gave us some props. Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews had covered one of our videos. So we had these huge folks bringing attention to us. And so it was kind of like also in a good time for us content wise to really like, if we put out a good product, people were going to look at it. So I think that was, timing is very important in this game. I mean, you could be hot. You could it's always going to drop off though. You could listen, we put out a video and I'm like, Scott, it's like 400 views. What? And Scott just like, dude, just let it go. Cause me, I'm like ready to jump off a building or something. And Scott's like, oh, well, on to the next one. I'm just like, how can you be that? How can you be that? like this is like we put it down, but so you're going to be up and you're going to be down, and you gotta roll with it. So I think these videos that you speak about, we were up,
and actually we got away from doing this particular style of video because what we're doing is we're going to have more Filipino guests and other Southeast Asian guests, which we're having tonight.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so,
right, Robert.
Yeah. So tonight, I really went to a focus on putting together guests to like kind of share what the experience what folks are looking for. So tonight, after we're off with you, we're gonna have a Cambodian lady, a Mexican lady, and a Filipina lady, and we're all gonna just talk about, do they think long distance relationships can really work, and how to work with it, and like, I'll trigger them a little, and hopefully they won't kill me. but I am gonna feed them. I'm gonna feed them. I'm an excellent cook, so I made some wings. Hopefully, I'll be okay.
And so we're also going to be doing different reviews on actually your channel. We're going to be doing a couple of reviews on your videos. So that's why. No excuse for me, but that's the reason why I haven't watched your videos yet. Because in editing, I'll be watching your videos consistently over and over again. Like I listen to this guy's voice like 10 times in a row. I'm like, all right.
He has to remove every filler word I use.
Yeah, I got to remove everything.
Every filler word. I mean, people think I speak eloquently, and actually, Scott just removes all of the Hey Scott, can you please just take that out? like he removes all of that stuff, so he makes me sound good.
So then we're going to be reviewing different channels and be more specific when we are going to be reviewing content creators from the Philippines or maybe from Thailand or from Vietnam, because there's a big market out there in YouTube land.
Yes.
And from that too is one of my goals is to travel over to Philippines, because we had someone reach out to us, and so this kind of like started generating some thoughts, like, what if I make some content out there in the Philippines if Grover's not busy with his family life here? Well, but if he isn't busy with his family life here, then he's going to come with me. And then we'll be visiting the Philippines and then visiting Vietnam and a couple other countries and a couple other content creators we know out there.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to make time to travel for, business, but I spent 35 years traveling I mean, I worked in Southeast Asia for 2 years. I worked in Europe for 2 years. Scott's a young man. Look at this guy. He's all young as a spring chicken. I'm almost 50, man. I need to. Sometimes I just want to relax. See, he's like, let's go. I don't know, man. Why don't you go do it?
Well, that's the plan.
Kelsey will meet you.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also you didn't talk about Kelsey.
Oh yeah, we Oh, can we talk about one more thing? I know you have questions. I apologize for talking so much.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, we have another channel called Tip Passports where we actually do practical travel advice.
It's still in pre-production phase.
Yeah, so. well, we actually have a lot of stuff ready, but we'll probably launch maybe the middle of June, the end of June. But we have a good friend of ours who actually lives in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and so he's doing the filming in Thailand and like the top 3 places to go in Chiang Mai for a family. What are you going to eat there? How much does it cost to eat a night? So how much does it cost to go to to eat really fancy? How much does it cost to eat like a Thai? How much, and then really give practical advice because, people travel in tiers where you go to I could go to, I can go stay at a super nice hotel, or I can rent an Airbnb, or I can really find a mom and pop's hotel and the best deal, I did that in Puerto Galera. And so it just really I want to give people those type of financial options because I really want to ensure that people have good times and just things that you should know, what kind of travel insurance should you get? What's the best time to go to the Philippines? How to deal with brownouts. I can tell you how I deal with brownouts. I dealt with brownouts in the Philippines. I went to the mall every day right about 1 p.m. I was in that air conditioning. I was chilling with Kuya and the OGs at the tongue. And we were just drinking coffee and talking. And it was I was like a native. I was relaxing too, man. But just learning those things is really, I think the practical knowledge, how to pick luggage, stuff like that is, I want to deliver value, a lot of value to the listener. And, when we would deliver laughs and social commentary on this channel and maybe some advice, I want to deliver just a high amount of value on the other channel, maybe laugh a little too. I don't know.
Yes.
Yes,
and sir, I will go to Thailand next month.
Oh, nice.
It will be my first international travel on my 41 years old.
You are going to have a great time. Let's see, next month it's
I hope
it's about the beginning of rainy season. So it's not going to be too hot, but rainy season just rains for an hour or two a day. You have some big downpour. Where do you plan on going?
First me and it's not only me. I am with my friends also. She is also a blogger, a single mom, and we stay first in Bangkok for 3 nights and then move to Pattaya, and then Pattaya I think I will visit Paddy. It's because I would like to meet the Big Pictures channel because he is in Thailand, or maybe the Chocolate Man in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and I was so shocked. It's because fortunately my friend helped me to book online the hotel, because actually I was decided to book a hotel using a travel agency because we've been purchasing our ticket at travel agency, but when I've been asking them, travel agency inside the mall here in Cebu, they charge me $450 just for 3 nights in Bangkok. But when I book online, it just cost only 165 US dollar just for 3 nights. And then I said, oh my God, Filipino people harass other Filipino people. It's very expensive. They make the price triple.
Yeah. You got, well, because they thought you were rich. They said, oh,
I'm not.
You go to Bangkok.
I am a single mom. I am a single mom. Maybe when my husband passed away, because I've been separated with my husband 6 years after our marriage. We never meet again until he passed away last 2020. And me and my daughter was struggling. We experienced that our family kicked them out of their house immediately, like animals. Okay, go out, go out. So after the procedure of my the property of my house, the property of my husband's house and other country, so I purchased a house because
Mm.
roof over our head is very
Very
important.
important. Right.
Yeah,
Hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy of needs. So that, but
yeah, and
I mean,
I am
that's
over I am overload of judgment and criticizing from other Filipino people. I am overload on that. So me, I still stay positive and I don't care of them because I never beg them any peso for me to buy food. I just make it on my own. So I don't care of what they are talking about me.
it's. Don't worry, it's common everywhere though. Everybody talks. The rumor mill exists everywhere.
I mean, that's why our
Yes.
channel exists.
Yeah.
So,
The rumor mill
yeah.
exists. Uh,
Okay. Sir, I have interviewed several passport bro visiting here in the Philippines, such as Austin Hallman,
mhm.
Craig of the Average Man, and Plug. What do you think of the passport bro leveling by specific women and the reason behind them being called passport bro?
Okay, so no, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the folks in the
Mm,
space. I've been on panels with them. Really, let's all use Austin Hollerman. He started off with a really uh, a kind of almost an obsession with Brazil and wanting to go to Brazil. When he said when he was really young, he said he was
yes.
obsessed with Brazil. As a youngster, he said he liked the way Brazilian women looked. He just like, and that's really possible because at that time, a lot of things when he was young were popular, and then like Club Help in Brazil was in everybody's rap video. Snoop Dogg was making rap videos in Brazil, and so I could actually see where he would be exposed to that and not even really realize when he was younger. Uh, I think that I think that the passport bros got to be very honest with intentions, and this is something that I always say, like Austin Hollerman, he wants to go meet ladies, he wants to travel, he wants to see the world, but he's also not going to get married anytime soon. But there's other folks who are older who are just going to want one woman to settle down, right? So Richie Mack, he's been with the same woman, all the
L,
content he
yeah.
makes with Elle, and they're a beautiful couple. They like tease each other, and it was, you could tell they're really into each other. I mean, I haven't been in the same room with them or anything, but you could tell they're really into each other, and so I would just say, like, people should just be honest with themselves. Like, I think there's about 4 tiers of travelers. I think there's young travelers who they're just going to go and they're just going to look to have fun. They just want an experience. They've
Yes.
never been anywhere. Like when I first traveled by myself as an adult, I was 18 years old and I went to Japan, and there was no relationship thought in my mind. There was just like, wow, these Japanese girls and they like me. Thank goodness. Thank goodness they're tiny and they like me. They're smiling with that little, and I was just like, hey, okay, let me talk to you, right? And so then, as I got older, I went to other places. I went to Europe, and there was girls in Europe, and I was playing music, and I was having a good time, and drinking a lot of liquor and other things. As I got older, things kind of change, right? So all of a sudden, it's like
Yes.
all of a sudden I'm spending a lot of time in the Philippines, and I have maybe I'm dating somebody, or maybe I'm just more serious about myself and serious about, like, you start thinking, because I'm an older guy now. Now I'm like in my 30s and my late 30s, and now I'm looking like, well, is this a place I could stay? I don't know if I could stay here. Well, let me look around and see what I have to do to stay here. And then in my 40s, relationship wise, I don't know. I guess it was about 44, maybe about 43, 44. I got pretty serious about at least spending time with folks who are worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still have horrible
Wait,
experiences.
relationships? Or are you talking about like just regular people, everyday people?
Just in general.
In
I
general?
think I think it was the 40s, and because relationships would kind of come with that too. But it wasn't.
Yeah, younger Grover was more aggressive and assertive, and spoke his mind a lot. He had a wide circle, but he also kept his circle very small.
Yeah.
So this transition of Grover as he's it's gotten older or whatever, and it's settling down,
Ouch.
getting married and all that stuff, but before all his travels overseas, and that for a longest time he was going to be single, and then eventually after the whole sickness situation, I want to speak around it, then his eyes were open to certain events, and then he started realizing the value of being in a committed relationship, and that's how he's with a Mexican wife now.
Yeah, right. Who I tell you one thing though, she's all those dang tortillas. It's hard to lose weight. So you're keeping me fat, boy. But like so, I just think as long as folks are honest about it and keep the content. I always say keep the content classy. You're a visitor in another person's country. I would never want to make content to make like anybody look bad or a certain way. I would
make
never
the whole country look bad.
Yeah, I would never want to feed. I would never want to feed into any negative stereotypes into a place. I believe that you can make great content, but some of the stuff it just shouldn't be shown, right? Like if maybe a beautiful lady's drunk and she's like kind of over you, you just don't have to show that.
Yeah.
You know, and
some common sense things that should be practiced.
Right. You just don't have to show that because that's you know, she has a family, she's proud, and that makes her look bad. And that makes maybe that can make like all Filipinos look bad, or that can make all whatever look bad, right? You know, just I say Filipino because I'm talking to you. So I think people should be honest. I think that men, if they're seriously looking for a relationship, then they should also be honest and go with that intent. And so I think whatever level you are, you should be honest with what you're doing, especially if you're making content. You know, like if you're making content just to travel around, vlog, and meet beautiful folks, you know, then just do that. I think that the Passport Bro movement, when it first started, when I first became aware of it, and they said, well, you know, like there was a lot of older guys. They said, listen, we're looking to go live in another country. We're working remote, or we have a business. And you know, we're gonna
escape the rat race,
get rid of real women, and spend a good life, right? And so, Andre,
more traditional minded, values, because over here in the West, like there's a lot of improvements when it comes to feminism and all that, and a lot of it, some of it's good, but some of it's also really terrible. And sometimes the most terrible aspects of that whole movement is starting to cause a lot of issues in the dating market around here. And sometimes the women are not even aware of it, while the men we're trying to tell them like these are the issues right here, but for some reason a lot of these women don't want to accept what we're facing. And so like I always think the best solution is like, all right, well, play around here, play around in the United States, see what you can find. If you can find someone that's like-minded, if not, then travel overseas, learn new cultures, and maybe you'll find love over there. Because even though guys might go around and date in other countries and whatever, what I know about human behavior, especially in males, is that they might want to play the field, but eventually they'll find themselves getting locked down by a woman and getting cuffed by her. So, and because most guys, or a lot of guys, want to be in monogamous relationships and have a family. That's usually the goal of a lot of men. Well,
I think that the monogamy comes in when you just don't want to deal with stupid people anymore. Like, I forgive me if I'm rough
and disrespectful,
but like, if you don't want to, you want to be able to come. Like, if you find somebody who you get along with, who's respectful, who shares some of the same values that you share, who wants some of the same things that you want, why would you throw that away? And she's like really, because I mean, let's keep it real. She's really taking care of you intimately. You
exactly.
Know? And not only she's taking care of you, but she's willing to take care of you. She's like, you like this? All right, let's give it a shot. Why would you throw that away for like you got filet mignon? Why are you gonna roll a dice for it might be a rotten chicken wing? Why would you do that, right? And so I think a lot of guys, they think logically, like, hey, I got it going on here. I'm not going to, when I'm ready, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, like most dudes I know, when they're ready and they're locked down.
And when they find a good thing, they're not gonna let that go either.
They don't want to mess it up when they find a good thing. I actually did a consultation with a lady yesterday, and she asked me, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? And she was having a really hard time understanding guys. Guys are really simple.
Wait, give a little background. Like, is she a Western ideological mindset?
She has a Western mindset. She's strong, independent, don't need a man.
There we go.
But that's needs a man though. Like a strong, independent, don't need a man.
The paradox.
But why can't I find a man? Well, because you've been telling dudes you don't need them. That's why you can't find a man. First of all, it's like if I walked up to you and said, you know what? I don't need no woman at all. I don't need no woman around here. I can do this and do that, And then I'm like, hey, you want to go out? You're like, no, you don't. Why?
You got bad attitude.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And she was like, what do guys want? Don't guys want someone that they can admire, someone that they could do this and really connect with on a mental level? I'm like, no, that's what you want. You want to admire someone, connect with a mental level. She's like, well, what do guys
Yeah,
want?
exactly.
I'm like, simple. It's so simple.
Someone being kind to them.
Yeah, they want someone nice. Someone nice. I know it sounds crazy, but someone to say, hey, babe, how are you today? Let me rub your shoulders. You worked hard. Someone who's feminine. You don't want to come home and just fight a battle, at all. Someone who cares about how they look. I'm not saying that you got to be a beauty queen, but like if you're wearing the same old holy da-dun-da-duns every day or the same old like rags, it's like, come on, I'm working hard. At least look a little good for me, right? And he wants someone to take care of him intimately. I'm really trying my best not to talk bad. It's pretty simple. Like everything else can be worked on, but like I don't even think guys want a super traditional woman when they say, hey, I want a housewife or this and that and just that. I don't even think guys really want that,
because when it comes down to it, it's all really relative.
Yeah,
right. Because like the bare minimum over here, basically whatever a woman from like, let's say my aunts, right? My aunts are Vietnamese and my mom's Vietnamese, and I see how they treat their men, their family. They cook for them. They take care of household chores, and the man goes out there, he goes works, and he does all those other different things. And that's just like kind of like an expected, where everyone has their own roles, their own responsibilities. But for some reason over here, it's like when you're dating someone like a United States girl, it's like dating kind of like a guy, because she's competing against you. So it's like, wait a second, but we're not even trying to compete. Like I have my masculine roles and you have your feminine roles. Why can't we just work this out and be like, like a regular relationship? Why am I feel like I'm competing with a man? Like, what's going on?
It's like dating a guy, you got to pay for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
it's like if you're so damn strong, can you at least go put me on the damn bill?
So it's a lot of expectations over here is where the women expect a lot from the men, and that's normal. Like it's normal, but at the same time is there's no grace given to the guys, or at least acknowledging and appreciating what the guys are bringing to the table. Because anyway, I don't want to get into it because
Scott about to be mad. He about to get up.
I am also like that. I saw how my parents and my grandparents taking good care of their companions. So when I was get married, I did it also to my husband. Even for to take it out her shoes on his feet, I did it. For to wipe his after he's been on the shower, to wipe his face, to wipe his body, I did it. And then when he was on the table, I told him, would you like coffee? So I serve him coffee, drinks, what she did. He didn't need to stand up because we serve it. A man here in the Philippines is our king.
And I know the guys.
Scott's like, and I'm about to get me an airplane ticket right now. Scott gonna be over there editing.
Because you can imagine if I'm editing like 12 hours straight,
yeah,
it'd be nice to have a meal, like just right there cooked, or some more coffee or something. I'm not expecting it, but at the same time, be kind of, oh wow, cool coffee. Oh, there's a cookie here too. Like he's like,
oh, unexpected. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'll just work even harder now.
Yeah, no, so. I do got to give a shout out to Mrs. Reese though, because she actually does that. I mean, Scott's seen it before. She actually really takes care of me. Like,
yeah, she even served my plate.
Yeah, she's
like, oh my goodness, what is going on here?
Yeah, she's like, and she always like thinks so. She's like, where's the chino? Oh, all right, so here's the funny part, and it's like when Mexicans, everybody who's Asian, they think they're a chino at first. So she's like, it's a chino. He doesn't have a girl. Is he eating tonight? Because Scott stays here sometimes, or wherever he's a vagabond. But she's like, is he eating? And I'll be like, I'm sure he's eating something. She's like, well, invite him over. I'm gonna cook. And so he'll come over and eat, and then she'll like make his plate for him and like make sure he's full. Then she'll be like, all right, get out. But it's just kind of like the way it's just that family style that. Like, I mean, it's how my family is in the South, so I'm super appreciative for it.
Okay. And sir, many American women have labeled Asian women with emphasis on the Philippines as submissive, gold diggers, bottom of the barrel, low-hanging fruit, cannot speak English, and other negative and disparaging words. They fail to realize that we are not the problem, but that they are their own worst enemy. What do you think? What do you think? They perceive themselves to be a superior woman, but really have little knowledge of Asia. Asian women are our traditional values.
Mm, you know,
So all I gotta say is, like, at least on my Vietnamese side of the family, all the women are tigers. So
Yeah,
like I say,
Mm.
they
I don't-
serve their men. They do. But at the same time, if you don't hear them, like, they're nagging in the morning too. So it's weird. So submission is such taken in a context where a person's somehow being fully subservient. Submission isn't that. It's submission is to submitting yourself to a higher principle where you are taking care of the family, or in this case, a woman's taking care of her man,
Yeah.
so he can still take care of the family and provide and protect his family.
Right.
So that's really what it is. And I also think the women are actually scared of the extra competition because now men are able to not only travel around domestically, but they can go international and meet more women. So, and that causes a lot of consternation or a lot of fear with the women here in the United States because their pool of men is starting to diminish. And not only that too, but with the guys that are making a lot of money who happen to be passport bros and traveling across this overseas, like the women are just getting the what they're settling, the regular average guys, which I find kind of offensive too at the same time.
Right.
You know, but I'm not gonna get triggered and all, but still.
Okay.
That's awesome right there.
Here, Filipino woman, when they have their companion early in the morning, Filipino woman wake up their companion and say, "Good morning, love you," and then breakfast is ready. Oh, we are like that.
Scott is on his way, bro.
Where's my ticket? Where's my ticket?
Scott's like, we ain't gonna get no work done. You know what? That's I've actually experienced that. That's pretty accurate. You know, Western women, they block their own blessings. They block their own blessings. Like they can have a dude, and this guy is willing to run through a wall for them, but they turn that guy bitter and they chase him away. And then they sit down and they have the absolute gall to say that there's no good men out here. Well, all the good men you chased away. That's your fault.
And the average guys you're not even looking at.
Because you don't want the average, you don't want the plumber.
And the average guy can sustain having a family.
Yeah.
He's not like
Yeah.
a do no good broke guy.
Yeah,
he's an average guy that can provide for a family, and somehow he's being overlooked.
There's this weird thing that I've noticed in the United States where even high earning gentlemen who don't have a status filled job are looked down upon.
Give an example.
So a plumber in the United States, let me tell you, a plumber where we live starts off at $125,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And if you're an emergency plumber, you're making a CUPE dollar. You're making $250,000 if you're an emergency plumber. $250,000 a year. You're making, and you have a pension, and you're only going to work for 40. You're going to be like 45. You're going to be out. You're going to be traveling. You're going to be taking your wife everywhere.
And I believe that's almost top 10% income earners in California, which, as you know, is Silicon Valley tech, Tesla, and all that. So that's a lot of money.
Super expensive here. And then they'll take somebody who, like, it's just this weird thing like, if he has a 9 to 5, he has to be a scammer or have something else going on. It's like, so you would rather, and this is the ethos of the modern woman that's like killing me. It's like, you're going to sit here, you're going to turn down a hardworking, dirty hands, clean money type of guy who's gonna, by the way, if somebody came to that door, not only is he capable because he works with his hands and he's strong, but he's willing to lay himself down for you. But you gonna sit up here with a pooky scammer who ain't worth nothing. And if somebody comes to that door, they'll probably come to the door because he ripped them off. And so it's just a weird dichotomy that we have going on here. And so, like, when I see people say, like, first of all, they don't know, like, yes, I'll say like Filipinos, Thais, Vietnamese, Latinas, they're really nice women. But they're not just going to let you run over them and rug shot. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. But what they're scared of is, like Scott said, competition. Because no 41, 42-year-old single mom want to compete with you over here. They just don't want to. They don't want to compete with you because when the rubber meets the road and you're doing what you're doing,
staying in shape.
Like staying in shape, taking care of yourself. bringing that coffee out in the morning, making that food in the morning, sending him off happy to work. You know how many men I know personally leave work angry,
hungry,
bitter, and broke because she's spending your money. I talk to them all the time. They're mad at me. They're like, "Would you?" My whole family is like, "Where you find a wife like you? She be taking care of you. I'm here with this shit." No, I'm like, "Unc, relax, dude." He's like, "No, I'm serious. It's like, all right, Unc, calm down. Calm down. But that's what's going on here. So like,
it's explain what your mom said about your wife, and like the moment that you got her, she was like,
yeah. So my mom's been really worried about well, I mean, I used to bring girls home and my mom would be like, "Don't ever bring her here again." Like, so apparently I had poor taste. But when she met my wife, she was so happy and she could relax because now she knows I'm going to be taken care of. You see, moms, and this is one thing I know because I got the world's most protective mom in the world. That's redundant. She's going to worry about me forever. But having my wife, now she doesn't have to worry. You know what I mean? And she said that to me before, like, I know that you have someone who cares about you, is going to take care of you. Because what do you want for your child? That's what you want. You know, I'm glad. I'm glad she's. You know, my dad was passed on, so he's not able to see it. I'm glad she's able to see it. You know, my dad probably, passed. You know, he went to heaven thinking his son was going to go to the bottom of the fourth, chasing them wrong girls. You know, but you know, I turned the corner. You know.
Yeah, here even we are single mom or not single mom, but we have time to take care of ourselves and to at the same time take care of our children.
Yeah. No, I've seen examples of it. I've seen a lot of examples of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And sir, what does the modern woman mean when she says that her box is more valuable now than when she was younger? When she was younger, do you agree with that belief? Why or why not?
I would say I don't agree with it, and the reason why is because through that one clip, we can tell that that woman has been through a lot, and most likely the guy that she's been with, from what I'm guessing, is that guy was most likely a do no good, probably broke, probably lazy, didn't really do much, and now all that trauma on her, she's going to be pushing on to the next guy, and so the next guy has to deal with it, right? So now that's why her box isn't as valuable now, is because wait a second, all those traumatic experiences that you have is now I'm going to have to deal with it, so I don't even have a clean slate to deal with. So that's the main thing. And then next thing is like yeah, I mean that's all I got there.
Well, the deal is this: women think that because here we go. Sorry, I had a phone malfunction. Women think that because they've been through things and that they don't understand that their experience doesn't make them more valuable. Your experience in being people. Oh, so back when I was younger, you know, you could talk me into giving it up really easy, but now that I've been ran through 7,000 or 8,000 times, you know, it's hard to get it now. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why do I have to work harder for something you gave up to an idiot for, right? And so it's just one of those reasons that women don't understand how men think of things. And they're not supposed to understand it right off the bat. But here's the problem. They don't care to understand it. But men must care to understand, to get a woman, how she thinks. A man must understand how to be nice. You must understand, hey, when you show up, bring her some flowers. You must understand, hey, open the door, be a gentleman. You must understand, you take her to a nice restaurant, you're going to pay for it. You must understand, hey, you're going to have to plan the night and take charge of the night, because if you sit there and leave it up to her, you're going to look like a weak leader. You must understand the principles of leadership. You know, a leader is not somebody who dictates. A leader is someone who looks out for the whole entity. A leader, an alpha, looks out for the whole group, not just himself or herself. That beta only cares about themselves and how they survive because they're so weak. They're worried about their survival above all, but the leader actually worries about the group. You must understand that, but the modern woman here doesn't understand what a man wants, and a man wants really simple stuff. but they don't have to understand that because they're used to being pursued and put on a pedestal. Now with men going other places, they're upset because their backup plan is gone. See, that they had a backup plan was like, listen, it's okay when I go and I do the wrong thing because Ronnie around the corner, he's like me since he was 14. And so he's going to come and save the day. And I think he's an engineer anyway. He makes good money. So I can blow off my time with Stevie Chad here. He's 6'5" and he looks really good, but he has 5 kids by 5 different women. Mm-hmm. So I'll be the 6th. And then it's okay because, Ronnie's going to take care of my kids for me when I get older. Well, now Ronnie's over there in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. So her backup plan is gone and they're mad. And that's the whole backlash for the passport bro thing. Mm-hmm. Do not think that these women care about anything else except their backup plan is gone. Mm-hmm.
And sir, you provide social commentary and relationship dynamics. So how would you summarize the state of relationship in Black America or America today?
So I guess I'm going to take the Black American one.
You're definitely going to take.
You're not going to take the Black American one.
No. Even though I watch a lot of the space.
Hey, watch a lot of space.
I watch a lot of the space.
Well, you done dated a lot of Black American girls. Anyway, so listen. So I want to really try to say this as eloquently as I can. The Black marriage rate going into the 60s was the highest in America. We were married more than any other group. We were producing engineers at a higher rate than any other group. Everywhere we went, we were dressed nicely. If you look at pictures of Black folks in the 60s and from the 40s to the 60s, we wore suits everywhere we went. We had leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., right? We had folks take us seriously to the point where John F. Kennedy and RFK elites made a pivot towards Black America. Why do I say that? Because all of that has to do with the relationship and the family dynamic. We've never had more wealth in the United States than everybody else. What we've had is such a strong family unit that we were able to make it. The thing that's destroyed the Black unit is feminism, because feminists came and said, listen, you could work and do this and do that, but they didn't understand our women were already working because they had to. My grandmother already worked on the farm and ran half of the farm business with my grandfather. She wasn't sitting at home with an apron washing dishes and stuff. She was out there milking the cows. She was out there selling hogs. She was working the family business. So this whole thing broke down the family unit. So I would say that we're now the least married in the country. And the only group that we actually have better results than is the Native Americans. So it's in a sad state. Now, what can help that? Because we have to have a solution. You can't offer social commentary without a solution. Well, the solution is this. We have to decide that the family and having a family is important. And as a man, if you're a man of means, and if the government taking your means is stopping you, then you have to protect yourself through every financial and legal way that you can, but you still need to be there and raise your family. And women need to stop looking for the top 20% of man when they're a 40% person. They have to have some flipping reality. You have to understand that if you come with baggage, if you come with this, that there may be somebody who likes you, but you can't be 60 pounds overweight. And look, I'm big myself, so I'm not going to sit here and really beat you up, but you can't be 60 pounds overweight and think that Captain America is coming for you. You have to have some real understanding of the world. And instead of walking by that gentleman who's a carpenter, who great job, carpenter, the policeman, the welder, the fireman, the roofer, these blue collar gentlemen, instead of walking by them, you need to stop and look at them and say, hey, this is a man who's going to help me raise my family and who's going to be here. And we need to stop divorcing willy-nilly. Now, look, I always say, I'm not one of these fools who say, if there's abuse, you should not leave. If there's abuse, you got to go. Yeah. But if there's not abuse and you just don't feel it anymore, shut the hell up and raise your family. because your kids have nothing to do with you not feeling it. That feeling, well, I almost lost it. That feeling stuff will destroy your family unit. Feelings has got us where we are right now. Well, don't I deserve to be happy? No, what you deserve to do is raise a family, move your legacy forward, and find happiness in that your children are better off than you are. Because that's how my parents found happiness. And even if you do separate, co-parent appropriately. And so that's the only solution that I see to Black America, is that really you have to look at what's going on and say, okay, we have to just decide to build families again. Because to me, the family is almost a perfect solution to a lot of issues.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the family is the basic social institution before we have big towns, cities, governments, communities, and things like that. And so, give me 1 second here. We're getting music from outside.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone. It's gone. Sorry, we should have probably closed that screen door.
I know we have the window open.
We had some mariachi music.
Okay.
which is great background music, but not for right now.
Yeah. So with that, okay, so what I say is, like, I've been like ninja watching in the space in the Black manosphere, or just the Black community spaces, and I hear a lot of the issues between the dating dynamics between men and women, Black men and women. And one thing I really learned, and that was re-emphasized to me, is that when the Black community is having when the community at large is having a cold, the Black community is having the flu. And so why I say this is because Black culture is very dominant in American arts. Like, you got hip hop culture, you have our sports, you have the inventions that Black inventors have created. And so with that, Black people tend to be the vanguard to all sorts of advancements, as well as some of the deterioration when it comes to the relationships between men and women. And so what I'm seeing now is these I'm strong, I don't need no man, I'm independent attitude is starting to be more pervasive in other communities, with the Asian communities and the white communities, the Latin communities, that has been raised here in the United States. So that's where you see feminism, where it was injected into the Black community back in the 60s.
Yes.
Now is creating this like weird cyclical loop where now all the other communities are starting to be affected by it. So from what I've observed, that Black women seem to be expecting a lot from their Black men. And I'm starting to see that pattern now manifest itself in the white communities and the Asian communities and the Latin communities, where some of these expectations are very delusional, where they are grandiose, where the average man is being overlooked. And especially when you think about the advent of social media allows the average woman to have more access to more potential partners from across the country. So you over in Cebu, you have the potential access to a Hollywood superstar living down in LA, and he can fly you out, or he can fly over to you. And the only way that I see that the modern man is able to equal the playing field, to say, or in a sense of speaking, is that that man has to develop himself the best he can be, so he can earn more financial power, which equals to more leverage, in addition to be able to exercise his right to be able to, or his privilege to travel across different countries and start to explore and date women from outside the United States. So that to me is like what I've been like observing, where there's a big implications with this sociological damage, or the social damage that's happening, where modern women nowadays is having this masculine mindset, where this masculine mindset is in direct competition to men wanting to be in a relationship with them.
Okay. And sir, any question for me or comments before closing out the interviews?
Let's see. I should try to ask some ultra cringe questions to make her like scared to come on the pod.
Okay.
So interesting enough. What has your interaction been with Americans, and particularly Black Americans?
Okay, for me, I didn't blame them, because I think they have, I don't know the whole story, but I think there are some negative and positive side on that. Maybe there is also a problem with the guy, maybe there is also a problem with the woman. So I cannot say that, I don't want to say negative and positive on that. So maybe there is another reason why they have that problem, but mostly I heard that it's because of the western woman. That's why they're men who come over there, come over overseas for to find a traditional woman, because some western women, they would like to be an independent, so they want to show that no, I can do it on my own without any man on my life. But life is boring if you have no partner.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One more question for me.
Mm.
So the big thing, like a lot of content creators who are against the passport bros or traveling, what they say is that men just want to travel to women that they can run over, that they can just make do what they want to do, and that they're like, I guess it's a thought that they're less sophisticated or they're less financial secure, so they're just going to acquiesce to the men's acquiesce to what the men, everything the men say. Now, I don't know if they've met like Filipinas or Thai ladies or like Latinas or say,
Mm.
but what would you say to that? What do you think? Then what would you say to people who said that like you're just easy to run over, easy to bend,
Control.
control?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I think it's depend on the situation. It's because not all the passport bros are here is are successful to find a traditional Filipina, because some of them also experience who've been on scam.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then I know that maybe there are some men easy to them to escape about their responsibility, because I think I also experienced that, because the father of my daughter, he escaped, or he did not do his responsibility very quickly, and at the same time also I then contact him again, and then ask him a support from him, but what he said to me is f off.
Wow.
Yeah, f off. And then I've been asking, but when I contact him, he sent something, but not enough for the support around 15 years. I think actually he bought 6,000 pesos cell phone for my daughter, and then the rest is 2,000, 3,000. And then there was a time that my daughter needs to be go to the dentist. I asked him 2,000 pesos, but he said no. It's because I give too much. And then I said, no, it's not too much. For the 15 years, it's not enough. And then I've been consulting a Belgian lawyer for that. It cost me, I paid 12,000 pesos for the consultation for 1 hour conversation. And then he never do his responsibility. He is a responsible guy. There are also some foreigners are like that, but not all. I didn't generalize it. So maybe there are some guy who escape very easy of the responsibilities. Maybe it's easy for them, but not all uh not not all cannot escape very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any questions?
Yeah. Well, I did have a question, and I started really getting engrossed into the story.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So, sorry, like I'm really absorbing what you were just saying right now and your life story right there. So it feels kind
Yeah.
of weird for me to ask this next question where I'm like, wait a second, that's pretty deep. I don't know how to respond to that one. But so my previous question to you before I heard this is like, what is your perception on um, women of the United States?
Okay, I didn't say it in generalize, but there are some Western women are in not good behavior, and I see it also that there are some Western women, they don't really take good care of their companion, because here in the Philippines we take good care of our companion even even when they called as submissive, but for us it's not submissive. We are not submissive because it's our responsibility as a wife to take good care of our companion or to take good care of our husband, and
Hmm.
it's a responsibility of a wife to take good care of the house and the children. That's
Mm,
the culture. That's our tradition here and our culture as a Filipino person. Even I saw it on my mom, on my auntie, how they take good care of my father and the husband of my auntie. The husband of my auntie just only sit on the table, and then my auntie serve the food on the table, and then after pick up the plates for to go into the kitchen for to wash. So that's
mm.
what we are kind of a woman here, but not all the Filipino women are like that. So that's why I told to my subscriber, you must be very careful to be with a Filipina that you want to be with,
Mm.
because there are some scammers also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so I think so. Like having to put in this disclaimer saying, "Oh, not all." I think it should be known by now that
Yeah.
not all people are like this, or not all people are like that.
Yeah.
Generally, people of this particular culture, of this particular ethnicity, of this particular race, will do these particular set of actions. So the reason why I'm saying that is now because if you look back with the Western woman in the United States, now she has more financial power, which means she has more leverage in the relationships, which at the same time she sees things as doing what you say, or what I would see just like as traditional feminine good qualities from women would now be somehow being seen as, oh, I'm being a slave to the man because now I'm serving his food, which it just to me is like absolutely crazy, because I'm still willing to put my life on the line if someone, an intruder, were to burst through the door. I put my life on the line first before she would have to, or my kids would have to. So that's why I'm seeing the transition for at least for the like I wanted to know your perspective, because right now it seems like the women here in the United States are not really valuing family, and they're not valuing traditional feminine roles. That is not subservient, or is not being
Yes.
like, you're just being a good person that
Yeah.
happens to be a female.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I happen to be a good person and I happen to be a male, so I'm gonna put my life on the line. Like I think that's common sense, but like I just don't get it sometimes. So then all right, so another question is, from how does the people from the Philippines see family in the United States in comparison to the Filipino family?
No, the Filipino family, I mean, Filipino, I think here in the Philippines, we give time to our family to make a gathering. Every Sunday, we have family gathering, friends gathering, family gathering, or relatives mostly. Every Sunday, it's depend if they cook at home and then spending time making karaoke or going to the beach. So we value our family because our mindset is no matter what happened, family is always be there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a very irrelevant question, so you can ask.
Okay. So yeah, it just seems like a lot of there's a lot of emphasis on careers now too with women, and like I can understand it because women don't want to be put in a position where somehow the man has a lot more power than them. But like most guys, not all guys, right? Not all guys are wanting to put their women in a position where the women can't, are totally powerless to the man in the relationship. So it's just like, it's just disappointing to see that family is not being as promoted as much here in the United States. And it's really
Yeah.
nice to hear that the Philippines still values that very much so, as well as other countries I know of. So we're gonna say what kind of irreverent thing you
All
want to
right.
say?
So I got a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
Your favorite? What do you rather, crispy pata or lechon kanwali?
Crispy pata or lechon kawali? Lechon kawali, because lechon kawali is much more tasty. It's because cooked with the soy sauce and vinegar, and then crispy pata is just only a fry, and you can separate soy sauce and vinegar in the other little plate. But crispy pata, lechon kawali is cooked in casserole, or yeah, lechon kawali. I think lechon kawali and lechon paksiw is the same. I
Yeah.
no, lechon kawali.
Oh well, you're
No,
from
no, maybe lechon paksiw. Maybe you said
Paxil.
lechon paksiw. Yeah,
Paxil is really good. Paxil is
yeah,
really good, especially after you have the whole lechon and then you make
lechon.
Paxil after.
Yeah.
It's really good. I some of my best friends are Cebuano, so like I've had many nights, many nights after getting drank under the table by by their father, like eating some Paxil. The Paxil fixes you up after you drink, man. He send you home. But my favorite, I like the lechon kanwali also, but it has to be with the dark vinegar and not the clear vinegar. I like the dark
Soy
vinegar.
sauce.
Yeah, the soy sauce and the vinegar. I like that more. I like that more. But I'm a huge fan of Filipino food, so I had to ask the question.
Okay.
So I got to ask you. This might be personal, so you don't got to answer it. So, how is your experiences getting back into the dating market, or if you've been in a dating market, being a single mother in the Philippines?
Okay, being a single mom here, maybe there are for us to be a single mom, we learn a lesson on that. So next time when we will be in a relationship, we must be very careful. But it's depend on the woman because there are some Filipino women that even they are single already and they have experienced that the father of their child left them, but at the second time they jump on the relationship that they are not so sure. But there are some single mom that who would like to be on the dating society again, that they must be very careful that it will not happen to them again a second time. It's same on me. I will not date a woman. I will not date a man which is not sure and not serious and love my daughter like his own, because my husband, my deceased husband, did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, being a single mother, do you, in your perception, what more do you think you have to do to get into a successful relationship?
Okay, I think more traditional Filipina, and then do as much as I can to be to my partner to be happy, so that happy family is a very nice living. If because if you live as a family and you are not happy, it's useless. So me, I will do my best as much as I can to have a happy family, and to serve my companion or my husband, and I will make him happy.
Mhm. And do you, this is going to be a personal question. Actually, let me think here. So, hmm, so would you say, hmm, there's so many different like ways I can ask this. That's why I'm like trying to, which one do I want the best? So for Filipino women, Filipinas, um, is there a preference in what kind of guy they are looking for to be in a relationship with?
Yes, they want for me, for my opinion, Filipino woman wants to have a boyfriend or companion, kind, understanding, honest, faithful, and love and accept who she is, and accept also her family, and willing to help if ever her family needs to help.
All right. And so would most Filipino women, would they rather stay and live inside the Philippines, or would they want to move outside the country and be with a man?
Okay, it's depend of the woman. There are some Filipina that if they married a foreigner, they want to live abroad. But there are some Filipina wants to live, stay here in the Philippines. It's depend of the conversation before between their both side. So if, because as a Filipina, we not decide if we are not decided alone. So we must spoke together with our companion. What's your decision? You want to stay here or you want to stay on your country? For me, if you would like to stay here in the Philippines, it's okay, no problem on that. And then if yeah, it's depend. We are dependent of what is the decision on our companion.
And so for your companion, how much in percentage wise would the companion have to provide financially to be in a relationship with you in consideration of what you just said about your family? That help-
Okay, okay, the family, it's depend if how much he give. Because me and my experience and my opinion, when my husband sent me an allowance, it's just only 6,000 pesos a month. That's all. I never been asked. So it's depend of the Filipino woman, because there are some Filipino women who ask more, 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 more. So if the foreigner will give more, more, more to the Filipina thinks that okay, he is rich.
Yeah, so
But me, I never.
100 bucks.
6,000 pesos a month,
Yes.
you said?
Yes, he sent 6,000 pesos for our food, and then the rent of the house was 10,000 pesos. That's what my husband sent, my business husband sent to me, and I never asked it more.
All right. So even though, okay, so let's just say I'm going to put 16,000 pesos, Filipino pesos. And for anyone that's watching that's from the United States, it says $285.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is about it's a little. Would you have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house?
Yeah, when I was rented, when my business husband sent me 10,000 for the house rent, I rent a house like my house now, 2 bedrooms,
Mhm.
1 bathrooms. Yeah, 10,000 pesos and fully furnished inside the subdivision. And
Oh.
our food, he sent 6,000 pesos for our 1 month food, and
Yeah.
also electricity and water bills. I made budget on that because I know it's hard to earn money in US. It's not easy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it depends on the man too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's. I
But
mean,
there are some Filipino women didn't value of how their companion work hard, because if their companion send them quite a lot of money, they spend to their friends, hanging, eating, drinking.
mhm. So how normal is it that there's or considering your situation, and not exactly your situation, but let's say a man is still living in their home country or abroad somewhere else. How often does this happen where a man is sending back money to the Philippines to take care of his Filipino family?
It's depend of the guy. If he wanted to send 2 times in a month or 1 time in a month, and then it's the Filipino woman contented on that, no problem on.
Mhm. So, okay. Yeah, I think there's some questions I'll have to ask you when you get on our platform.
Yeah. I was like, you gonna have the whole interview now?
No. I want to make it helps me kind of like learn a little bit more about like what's happening over there too.
Actually, really good interview skills, man. Really good questions.
Well,
you usually don't.
I'm trying to be service for the guys here when they,
Yeah.
I'm not telling them it's just to get a Filipino family and still live over here. I mean, I prefer guys to be with their actual family, but at least to give them an idea if that's. Let's say if like, okay, so if a guy happens to just kind of like what we call shoot up the club, and they can't help themselves, and their lady lets them do it, like it's kind of good information to have, right?
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what shoot up the club means, ma'am?
No.
means to make a baby, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, to make a baby.
Oh man, this.
Well, I guess I know what kind of content what I'm doing. Oh, not to teach American slang. That's
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Teach American slang.
Yeah, that was good lead on that one. That was slide. Scott, everyone thinks I'm the bad one. It's him. He's
I'm
the
not
bad
bad.
one. He's the bad one.
Okay. So, sir, I would like to thank. I would like to thank THPP Network for today's interview. I will put to their YouTube link channel. Informative channel in the video description. Please subscribe to their channel, and please subscribe to my channel also. And sir, thank you so much for granted my interview. And if you would like to be interview me on your channel, just let me know and I will be there.
Yeah, we'll send you an email and set it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send. Okay, wait, sir. Okay, I'm gonna write my email address. Wait.
I gotta say, like every Filipino person I know always says "ma'am" and "sir."
Ma'am, sir.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, sir. Ma'am, sir.
Or when Carmelo, we used to work with her. It's
Oh,
like Mr. Scott.
Yeah,
Like,
Carmelo was hilarious.
Okay, here is my email address.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, sir, thank you so much and God bless you. Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Salamat.
Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.